Tonight on Studio 12 News, welcome to the GTA, the worst commute times in North America. A life lesson learned from the champ and the highs and lows of the regional budget. Good evening, I'm Kate Wheeler. When it comes to commuting times, the GTA ranks dead last in North America. And as Studio 12's Mark Junta reports, driver despair has many turning to transit.
Ranking lower than major city centers like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, the GTA has the worst commute times in North America. According to the Toronto Board of Trade, it takes the average commuter 71 minutes to get across the GTA, and this has some motorists avoiding the 401 altogether.
I've tried different times to find alternate routes to get to Toronto, so it's a little more safer type thing.
I prefer not to use the 401 because of the traffic timing.
Oshawa Mayor John Henry approached several municipalities last year to get them on board with the extension of the 407 to the 35-115.
We've actually got support off the floor of councils across southern Ontario, supporting the initiative of the City of Oshawa and the region of Durham about building a ring road around Toronto, which is ultimately called the 407.
Along with the 407 extension, which is supposed to be completed by 2020, Metrolinx has plans to eventually extend GO train service to Clarington.
For those people who are used to commuting, to move out this way, have a great standard of living, jump on a train, and probably be at work quicker than they are now commuting from the northern part of Toronto.
To avoid sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, many are turning to Durham Region Transit. In fact, ridership is up 43% over the last 6 years.
We, in fact, last year carried 9.8 million people. That's 3 million more than we did in the first year of operation. So if you think of those as cars that are taken off the road, potentially, that's a significant improvement.
Ted Galinis, the general manager of Durham Region Transit, says there's a number of initiatives in place to boost service.
Highway 2 Bus Rapid Transit, which is called Pulse, will be doing transit signal priorities, which will be embedded into the highways, and in fact will help the buses speed along a lot quicker. This year we're doing 11 bus expansion in Ajax Pickering.
Durham Region Transit is working with the Toronto Transit Commission on a seamless transition. A new route will hit the road in July, linking Ajax to the University of Toronto. Mark Junta, Studio 12 News, Oshawa.
An Ajax man is charged with fraud after police were alerted to a viral video on YouTube. The investigation was launched after this incident on the 401 February 9th. Ajax resident Raghurab Yogaraja and Mississauga photography student Herman Sham were in stop-and-go traffic when their vehicles bumped. Sham's dashboard camera caught it all, revealing Yogaraja's black Acura rolling back and bumping into Sham's Subaru. Sham uploaded it to YouTube, entitled, "The Reason Why You Need a Dash Camera, Scam Foiled." He added bubble captions alleging Yogaraja demanded $500 on the spot to pay for the damage. Yogaraja started getting hate mail from the YouTube site and said he was worried for his family's safety. The OPP charged Yogaraja with fraud over $5,000, public mischief for false reporting to police, and attempted insurance fraud. Yogaraja has been released on a promise to appear for a court date in Toronto. An 83-year-old pedestrian has died of injuries received last month after being struck by a car crossing Valley Farm Road in Pickering. Albert Vic Churchman spent the majority of his career in various ministries within the Ontario government, finally retiring in 1993 from writing financial policy for the Ministry of Community and Social Services. No charges have been laid, and police are reminding all pedestrians to use crosswalks. Air One is being credited with quickly finding two teenagers who fled a stolen vehicle in South Pickering after failing to stop for police. The van, along with stolen plates, was recovered and seized. No injuries were reported, but a 16-year-old from Ajax is charged with driving with over 80 milligrams of alcohol in his system, failing to stop for police, theft of a motor vehicle, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000. He was held for a bail hearing. A 15-year-old from Ajax is charged with possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000 and theft of a motor vehicle. He was released on a conditional undertaking. The traffic headaches in North Oshawa are about to resurface. On the heels of a massive repavement of the Taunton and Simcoe area last summer, motorists need to brace for more slowdowns. Road work from Eastwood Avenue to Conlon will see lanes reduced from March 19th to the fall of this year. The construction will see new traffic signals, new curbs and gutters, and the installation of a foundation drain collection system. The region is asking drivers to brace for significant delays and to exercise caution for the safety of construction workers. Retired Canadian heavyweight boxing champion George Chuvalo spoke to students at Monsignor Jean Parima today about his life experiences. But as Studio 12's Alex.Simpson explains, the biggest fight of Chuvalo's life wasn't in the ring.
When they're not using drugs, everybody looks normal. If we're not using drugs, everybody looks fine. When we start using drugs, bad things happen.
George Chuvalo is a fighter in more ways than one. Known for never being knocked down in 93 professional fights between 1956 and 1979, his personal life has also been in the spotlight. Chuvalo lost 3 sons and his wife to drugs, and he now tours schools across Canada, telling his tragic family story.
If I didn't do what I do, it would be like my sons and my wife died in vain. And I don't ever want to feel that way. I want to feel that even though they're not here, that somehow that they can help other people. And the only way I can get that message across is to speak to young people, whether they're in jail or a sports association or in school. And when I have the opportunity, I welcome that opportunity to speak about what happened to my family and hopefully guide young people into making the right decisions in life.
Chuvalo's talk was sponsored by the CAW Local 222 and the Pinewood Center, and students were listening.
I don't know how someone could go through that and be okay. I know I wouldn't be able to do it at all.
I'm glad I was here today to watch it because it was really inspiring.
Changes my views on drinking and all that and drugs. Stay away from that.
Chuvalo says drugs have always been too glamorized in the media, and that what you see on the big screen is nothing like reality.
Kids don't really know. A lot of times they think you can do drugs, get away with it. You can't get away with it. You can. But there's also a false notion peddled on the video sometimes or in the movies about guys doing drugs and looking healthy as can be, like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. He looked healthy as a horse, and that he was supposed to be a drug addict in the movie. So a young person can look at it and say, oh, he's using drugs, and he looks good. He looks that good. He's not really using drugs, but in the movie he's portrayed as using drugs and still somehow looking good and functioning in life and so on. And that's a false image to project. There's no question about that.
Alex.Simpson, Studio 12 News, Oshawa.
Game 1 of the Eastern Division Championship goes in Whitby tonight. For the first time ever, it will feature the number 4 seed against the number 6 seed. Whitby finished 4th and cruised past Lindsay and Coburg to reach the finals against Kingston, who upset both Wellington and Trenton. Game 1 is tonight in Whitby, face-off at Iroquois Park at 7:40. Game 2 is Thursday in Kingston, and fans wanting to travel to the game can book a spot on the fan bus for $50. That includes your ticket. It leaves Iroquois Park at 4:45 sharp on Thursday. Contact Scott McCrory at scott@6amsports.com to book your ride. The lingering effect of yesterday's deep freeze could still be felt this morning, but Mike Judson is here to tell us it will be downright balmy tomorrow. Are the rumors true?
That's right. We're definitely in for a very, very nice surprise for tomorrow. That is if you like warm weather. If you'd prefer to be in the cold, well, you're not going to like tomorrow at all. We have a warm front which is going to be coming through a little bit later tonight. Overnight, it's going to be driving temperatures up. Take a look at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be already at 5 degrees under a partly cloudy sky. And then we're expecting to hit a high of 12 also under a partly cloudy sky. But clouds will start rolling in towards the evening. At 5 p.m., we'll be down to 9 degrees. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Mike. Here's a story we could all sink our teeth into. Oreos turn 100 today. The cookie Canadians love is made in Montreal, where they produce 1 billion a year. We twist them, we lick them, we dip them, and Colleen Jones does too.
I'm outside on a corner with a plate of Oreo cookies. That makes me very popular. How good are Oreos? So good. Great. We all have a strategy on the best way to eat them.
First you twist them,
yeah,
you lick them.
You lick them?
Split them apart and then open them and then lick them. It all depends on the mood.
It's the mood.
Separate it and then lick it.
Oh, you did that well.
And then close it and then eat it.
Really 3 groups of people in the world. Those that just eat them, the separate and lick people, and lastly the dunkers.
Got to hold it in there.
You've got to dip it for a certain length of time.
For the liquid to get in, you know, mixed in with the...
I stopped at the hospital to talk to dietitian Anna Threadcraft. It's National Nutrition Month after all. I got her blessing. Everything in moderation.
When it comes to foods, there's really no good or bad food. There are foods that we should eat more often than others, but I think especially with an Oreo, it definitely can fit.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, that's right. Because when you deprive yourself of something, you just want it more.
You just need to stop at 2 cookies and not eat the whole row. Easier said than done. Colleen Jones, CBC News, Halifax.
We have to take a break here at Studio 12 News. When we come back, a detailed look at the forecast and putting a pin in the fastest growing new social media platform. That's next in Gearing Up.
Studio 12 News is brought to you by General Motors of Canada.
Welcome back. This week in Gearing Up, Chris Abel tells us about the latest in social networking that lets you, the user, act as an explorer of sorts, posting photos and information of unique finds. But not everyone is thrilled with the idea.
With more than 12 million users online and one of the fastest growth rates we've ever seen on the internet, a new social network has risen, which should give both Twitter and Facebook reasons to be worried. It's called Pinterest.
It combines the use of the internet as a research tool with the visual dynamic of creating scrapbooks dedicated to specific projects. Once you find an image, a video, or an article that you like, you merely click on the special Pin It button that's been added to your web browser to make a duplicate copy of that item and have it uploaded to your Pinterest account. From there, you can assign it to any number of projects you may have on the go, or include a descriptive comment to remind yourself of what makes it so special. For reference, it includes a web link that goes back to the original website where you found it. In this way, people create large visual canvases that collect and organize content into special visual guides dedicated to specific themes and activities, from interior design to crafts for kids to even recipes and movie reviews. In most cases, these boards are open to the public, and like any social network that you know, you can choose to click on and follow the users who are considered to be the most influential and creative. Here, for example, Patrick Legger is using Pinterest to explain a special diet designed for those with Crohn's disease.
Pinterest does have an app for the iPhone, and the idea is to use the built-in camera to capture real-world objects and locations and upload them to your image board. Once you make a curious little discovery in a store, the idea is to take a picture of it, and it uploads the photo to your account. But instead of including a web link as normal, it includes the GPS location data for the very store that you're standing in, so that others can see where you've made your latest discovery.
Incredibly, there are only 16 employees at Pinterest, and they have to confront a special problem. While retailers are quite happy to have you copy and spread their products across the web, photographers aren't too thrilled with what's happening to their artwork. Flickr has already instigated a block against Pinterest, and in response, Pinterest has had to release a special code that will allow website operators to protect their content. In the meantime, it's become the fastest growing network online.
Don't throw it out. Put e-waste in its place.
Gearing Up is brought to you by the Region of Durham Works Department. Remember, it's easy and free to recycle your old electronics. Visit durhamregionwaste.ca.
Steve Guthrie is standing by at the assignment desk in Peterborough today to tell us what they're working on for Newswatch at 6. Steve?
Thanks, Kate. Newswatch videographer Pamela Van Meer has uncovered Peterborough's first case of human trafficking. Well, that story and much more coming up tonight on Newswatch at 6. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Steve. When we come back from break, Dan Carter will be here with In Depth. And don't forget, you can catch up with us online at channel12.ca. Stay with us.